So Kevin Durant is now a Houston Rocket. He is no longer a Phoenix Sun, and they are no longer viewing themselves as a competitive basketball team, probably. What about the rest of the league? I do think, firstly, you have to look, when you're looking at the overall big picture of the West, you have to view the Rockets up there as a top team. The Thunder are obviously the standard bearers. The confetti hasn't finished falling yet, but they are obviously still the team in the NBA and certainly in the Western Conference. After that, like I love Jokic, big Jamal Murray guy here, Canadian, all that stuff. But I can't confidently say that Denver is now better than the Houston Rockets are. I love Ant. I'm pretty sure Minnesota's better than Houston. Like, I would power rank them above, but I am not 100% confident. Oh, yes, that is a better basketball team now than the Houston Rockets are. That's how much of a difference I think this trade makes. And I get he is not Kevin Durant of old. He is old Kevin Durant, but he is exactly what they needed. And when you see the development of their young kids, how Ime Udoka is setting up systems in there beautifully, this is a difficult team to deal with, and one that is going to very much be there at the very top of the fight for a Western Conference championship and a spot in the NBA Finals. And so now with that, it kind of feels like the only game changer on the trade board is now gone. The Halliburton injury, we talked about it a little bit earlier, and if you're watching just in this video, it's in a different one. But the Halliburton injury probably solidifies that Giannis is off the table because Milwaukee would have to view themselves as at least a pseudo contender with Giannis and basically nothing else. But still, because the rest of the East is so all over the place, it doesn't feel like there's anyone else on that level right now to go out and try to get. So what do these teams do? I'm a Raptor fan. So what do the Toronto Raptors do? A lot of people talking about them going big game hunting. Unless there's a trade I don't see out there, that big game isn't out there. Like I don't see that. And really when you're thinking about it, like how I think that whole big game thing was Giannis. That was the talk. Was Masai trying to bring Giannis in for the 14th year in a row. I don't think it was around Durant. I feel confident in saying it wasn't around Durant, and obviously no inside information here. But when you're not going to put Jakob Poeltl in a trade for Kevin Durant, yeah, you weren't really looking for Kevin Durant, were you? So where do they go now? Well, with this, they have, sorry, they have a pretty expensive roster and a not a like they have they have a good roster. Not a great roster, not a championship roster. They have a good roster. So where do they go from there? Now, look, in the East, a good roster can get you fifth, but it's expensive, and maybe they do try to kind of piece together a couple different things and make a move, but that big one isn't out there. So do they pivot now and say, okay, well, if there aren't the big ones out there, maybe we all of a sudden have some of the nicest trade chips in the league and can get a little bit more for an RJ and for a Quickly and those guys. Maybe that becomes a bit more of a factor here. So that could be an interesting kind of look for the Raptors. Kind of the same thing goes for Miami on the, like, if you're not going to put Poeltl in, what are we really doing here? Like, Miami was basically in these trade negotiations as a, yeah, if he's the only spot we want or he wants to come to, we'll give you a second. Like, they were not seriously negotiating in this. And part of it is they can't. They just don't have a lot to give teams right now. But what they did have, they weren't willing to give up. So how in it were they really? They are always looking for a difference maker to try to help bail them out of any situation that they're in. And there just isn't that right now. I also wonder what move is there for the Knicks. They fire Tibbs, and a lot of the conversation was this is a move because stars don't like Tibbs, and they need someone who can help attract another star to take this team over the top. Well, now that's not there. And so are we keeping Cat? Do you stick around with this whole Nova experiment thing that is going on there, and what kind of coach is being brought in now? Like the big move of the offseason kind of feels like it is done already, and it's basketball, so it's never just done. But I would be surprised if a player better than Kevin Durant gets moved at this point. I said this in a video before, though. I do wonder if this makes Ja Morant more available. If you are looking for a superstar, he has been one. I talked in a video before. I don't think paying Ja Morant is how you win a championship in the NBA. I think that we are very much seeing that you can only really pay two, maybe three guys, if those three guys are awesome and you don't need a whole lot of depth, but you can pay two guys and have at least a decent amount of depth there. And I just don't think you get that championship level if you're paying one of the two guys you're paying is John Morant. Like if one of your superstars is that guy, you're not winning a championship. So I hesitate to put the like superstar label on him, even though like from popularity standpoint, there's no question. And he is a good basketball player. It's just the flaws in his game seem to be growing rapidly, and maybe not. I shouldn't say growing rapidly. They're just available to be exploited more easily in the NBA now, and so I have some concerns about that. But I mean, look, if they want to stick around with this team and build out with Ja and Triple J, fine. But I just wonder if now you have so many desperate teams, especially in the East, trying to get that one leg up on everyone else, if all of a sudden a big offer could come your way, and now you have two big trade hauls in one summer, and you can try to set up your team in a different way. So I just think a lot of dominoes falling coming off of this move in the NBA. That's a lot of basketball talk to start the show today. You can tell I've been doing radio in Calgary for 3 weeks and have just been desperate to talk about a lot of this basketball.